Nick Nuttall is joining me now from New York. He's the Director of Communications and Outreach for the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. Nick, welcome to the broadcast. We can't ignore Theresa May, the Prime Minister's comments just yesterday. Has she set the tone, and how has she been received?
Well, I think many people have been setting the tone here. I mean, we've seen two phases of climate change here at the United Nations during what is also called Climate Week. We've seen the horror and the destruction in the Caribbean and other parts of the world from extreme weather events. And yet we've also seen tremendous amounts of announcements on finance, companies going 100% renewable energy. So many people are setting the tone here in New York at the moment.
What role does China play in taking the lead on negotiations?
Well, China has been a very significant player in recent years on the issue of climate change. You know, I mean, China is one of the world's biggest emitters, and yet it has made a very clear determination that it wants to green its technology, that it wants to invest a lot more in renewable energy, that it's become a major player in solar and wind power, and that also at the G20 last year it was very clear about how it wanted to green its financial systems, which is a very important piece in this jigsaw puzzle.
What has been the reaction to Antigua and the Barbuda leader?
I think everybody is deeply concerned, and everybody understands that the small islands of this world, but also vulnerable coastlines around the world, that we need to really ramp up, cutting the pollution that causes climate change, but also to build resilience. We really need to actually find some way of assisting countries to invest much more in making them stronger against these impacts. Because in the end, the money spent on prevention and resilience is going to pay back, because it's going to pay back in less lives lost and less infrastructure loss, and then less cost in terms of rebuilding these damaged communities.
We've all been affected by the earthquakes and the hurricanes in the last few weeks, and our hearts go out to people all over the world. Will these natural disasters affect talks at all?
Well, you know, the next big annual UN climate conference is actually happening in Germany, in Bonn, where we're headquartered in November. And the president, the country that's presiding over this meeting, is the Pacific island of Fiji. I think it's very clear what's been going on in the last few weeks is really going to focus minds on the need to actually build the resilience of these small islands to actually withstand some of these extreme weather events. So yes, and I think there's many creative things that will come forward out of Bonn. A lot of debate about how insurance can help much more, and how we can help communities that are actually uninsured, many of them, in terms of these extreme weather events, how we can build some insurance into their lives that's predictable and will be helpful for them as they go forward.
Nick Nuttall, thank you so much, joining us live from New York.